foreigners in a strange land. They carry as part and parcel of their baggage a long line of separation and disbursement, which informs their sensibilities and marks their conduct as they search for ways to reconnect, to reassemble, to give clear and luminous meaning to the song, which is both a wail and a whelp of joy.
I've been standing with you. I've been right here with you, Troy. I gave up 18 years of my life to stand in the same spot with you. Don't you think I wanted other things? Don't you think I had dreams and hopes? What about my life? What about me? Don't you think it ever crossed my mind to want to get to know other men? That I wanted to lay up somewhere and forget about my responsibilities, that I wanted someone to make me laugh so I could feel good. You're not the only one with wants and needs. But I held on to you, Troy. I took all my wants, my needs, my dreams, and I buried them inside you. I planted a seed and I watched and I prayed over it. And it didn't take me no 18 years to figure out that the soil was hard and rocky and it was never going to bloom. But I held on to you, Troy. I held you tighter because you was my husband. I owed you everything I had, every part of me I could find to give you. Upstairs in that room, the darkness falling in on me, it took everything I had to erase the doubt that you wouldn't find this man. And wherever you was going, I wanted to be there with you because you was my husband. It was the only way I was going to survive as your wife. You always talk about what you give and what you don't have to give, but you take too, Troy, you take. You don't even know nobody's giving.
I didn't leave him motherless, Harold. Reverend Tolliver was moving the church up north because of all the trouble that the colored folk was having down there. Nobody knew what was going to happen out there on those roads or if we was even going to make it up north. I left her with my mother, where I knew she'd be safe. It's better than dragging her out there on those roads, ducking and hiding from folk, and no telling what would have happened to us. I didn't leave her motherless. I was looking for you, Harold. They told me Joe Turner got a hold of you. My whole world split half in two. My whole life just shattered. It's like they poured it into a cracked jar and it just leaked all out the bottom. When that happens, ain't nothing you can do to put it back together. You talking about Henry Thompson like I'm supposed to work that land myself. How am I supposed to do that? You wasn't gone but 2 months. Henry Thompson kicked me off his land. I didn't have nowhere to go but to my mother's. And I stayed there and I waited. For 5 years. One day I woke up and I just decided that you was dead. It didn't matter if you was dead or not, you was dead to me. Because I couldn't carry you around in my spirit no more. So I killed you. My heart. And I buried you and I mourned you. Then I picked up what was left and made a life for myself without you. I was a young woman with the world at my beck and I couldn't carry you around like a sack of cotton.
I came today to make a testimony, to talk about the ground on which I stand and all the many grounds on which I and my ancestors have toiled.
Now I'm gonna tell you the way I see it. The only thing that make that piano worth something is them carpenters Papa Willie worked with in there. That's what make it worth something. That was my great-great-granddaddy. Papa Boy Charles brought that piano into this house. Now I'm supposed to build off of what they left for me. You can't do nothing with that piano sitting there in this house. That's just like if I let the watermelon sit out there and rot, I'd be a fool. Now if you were to say to me, boy Willie, I'm using that piano, I'm building on it. It helped me make my rent or whatever. Then that'd be something. I'd have to go on and say, well, Bernice using that piano. She building on it. Why not let her use it? I got to find another way to get Sutter's land. But Doka, say you ain't touched that piano the whole time it's been up in here. So why you want to stand in my way? See, you just looking at it for sentimental value. See, that's good. That's all right. I tip my hat off whenever somebody say my daddy's name, but I ain't gonna be no fool or no sentimental value. You can look at that piano for the next 100 years and it's still gonna be just a piano. You can't make more than that. Now I want to get Sutter's land with that piano. I get Sutter's land, I can go down, cash in my crop, and get my seed. As long as I got the land and the seed, I'm all right. I can always make something else. Because that land would give back to you. I can always make another crop and cash that in. Long as I got the land and the seed. But that piano don't put out nothing else. You ain't got nothing going for you. Now the kind of man my daddy was, he would have understood that. And I'm sorry. You can't understand that. But that's why I'm gonna take this piano out of here and sell it.
You ain't taking that piano out my house. Look at it. Look at this piano. Mama Ola polished this piano with her tears for 17 years. For 17 years, she rubbed on this piano till her hands bled. And then she rubbed it in and mixed it with the rest of the blood on it. Every day that God breathed life into her body, she rubbed, she cleaned, she polished, she prayed over this piano. Play something from Bernice. Play something from Bernice every day. Play something from Bernice. I cleaned it up for you. You always talking about that daddy of yours. But you never thought about what foolishness he caused our mama. 17 years worth of cold nights in an empty bed. For what? For a piece of wood? For a piano? To get even with somebody? I look at y'all, and y'all all the same. You, Papa Boy Charles, Whiny Boy, Doker, and Crawley. Y'all all are alike. All this thieving and killing, and thieving and killing. And what it ever lead to? More thieving and more killing? People getting burned. People getting shot. People falling down their wells. It don't never stop.
I just got a call from the governor's office. They canceled my next interview, and they said they didn't want to reschedule any further interviews with me at this time. You jump, but I'm falling too. I'm the wife of Harmon Wilkes. That's all the governor sees. Will all any of the other board members see? Will all our friends see? I tie myself so tight to you that there is no me. I can't carry this any further. I have a center too. What happens when that caves in? I have questions too. You're acting like a kid who, because things don't go his way, takes his ball and goes home. That's what your problem is. You've always had the ball. You had the glove and the bat. You had the bike when nobody else had one. All your life, you've always had everything go your way. I'm still standing here, Harmon. And I still love you. But this is all you now. Your campaign, that old house, the hill. That's all on you. I can't live my life for you, and you can't live yours for me. But I'm still standing here. See you tonight.
It wasn't nothing to you, but it was something to me. To have you just up and walk out like that, what you think happened to me? Did you ever stop to ask yourself, I wonder how Vera doing? I wonder how she feel. I lay here every night in an empty bed, in an empty room. Where? Someplace special. Someplace where you had been. The same place you walked out of. The same place you turned your back on. You give it up and you want it? What kind of sense does that make? Well, you had what you wanted, and I didn't. That makes you special. You one of them special people who's supposed to have everything just the way they want it. Floyd, I wanted to know where you was bruised at, so I could be a woman for you, so I could touch you there, so I could spray myself all over you and know that I was a woman. That I could give a man only those things that a woman has to give, and he could be satisfied. How much woman you think it make you feel no, you can't satisfy a man? So he could, yes, Vera, a woman. That's what you say, but you never believed it. You never showed me all the places where you was a man. But you went to Pearl Brown and you showed her. I don't know what she did or didn't do, but I looked up and you were right back here after I had given you up, after I had walked through an empty house for a year and a half looking for you, after I would lay myself on that bed searching my body for your fingerprints. He touched me here. He touched me here. He touched me here. And he gave me here, and he took me here, and he kissed me here. And he ain't here. He ain't here. He ain't here. So come looking for him. Cause he ain't here. He's there, there, in Chicago. With another woman. And all I have left is a little bit of nothing. A little bit of touching. A little bit of myself. It ain't even here no more. What you looking for? But you remember, it ain't even.
See, that's what half the problem is. These black power niggas. They got people confused and they don't know what they doing themselves. These niggas talking about freedom, justice, and equality. They don't know what it means. You're born free. It's up to you to maintain it. You're born with dignity and everything else. These niggas talking about freedom. What they gonna do with it? Freedom is heavy. You got to put your shoulder to freedom. And when you put your shoulder to it, you got to hope your back holds up. And if you around here waiting on justice, you got a long wait. Ain't no justice. That's why they got that statue of her, but she blindfolded. Common sense ought to tell you that if anybody ought to be able to see that she do, there ain't no justice. Jesus Christ didn't get no justice. What make you think you gonna get it? These niggas talking about they want freedom, justice, and equality. Equal to what? Hell, I might be a better man than you are. What do I look like running around here talking about I want to be equal to you? I don't understand these niggas sometimes. Talking about black power with their hands and their pockets empty. You can't do nothing without a gun, not in this day and time. That's the only kind of power the white man understands. These niggas think they gonna talk their way up on it. But to talk your way, you got to have something under the table. These niggas don't understand that. If I told you to get out my yard and leave my apples alone, I can't talk you out. You sit up in that tree and you laugh at me. But if you thought I was gonna come out there with a shotgun, it'd make a difference. Make you think twice about whether you wanted some apples. These niggas walking around talking about they black and they beautiful. Sound like to me they trying to convince themselves. You must think you ugly to walk around shouting you beautiful. Don't hear me saying that. Hell, I know I look nice. Got good manners and everything.
Most of our truly important moments in our lives go by unnoticed.
We recognize them in retrospect only after we've chosen one road over another and have seen where it has taken us. Only after we've kissed the man for the last time, unknowingly, and have left his final nakedness and are marked by the unsurety and the bruise, do those moments have any resonance.
Nah, Darnell. You ain't bought no house without me. How many times in your life do you get to pick out a house? You bought a den for Darnell. That's what you did? So you can sit down there and watch your football games? But what about the kitchen? The bathroom? How many windows does it have in the bedroom? Is there some place for Jesse to play? How much closet space does it have? You can't just surprise me with a house and I'm supposed to say, oh, Darnell, that's nice. At one point, I would have, but I'm not 17 no more. I got responsibilities. I want to know if it has a hookup for a washer and dryer because I gotta wash Jesse's clothes. I want to know if it has a yard and do it have a fence and how far Jesse has to go to school. I'm not worried about where to put the TV. That's not what matters to me. And you should know, Darnell. You should know what matters to me just like I'm supposed to know what matters to you. And I'm not asking you to do it yourself. I'm here with you. We're in this together. See, house or no house, we still ain't got the food money. But had you come to me, had you talked to me, we could have went to my mother and got the $80 for the house and still had money for food. You did it all wrong, Darnell. You did the right thing, but you did it wrong.